Hello! Happy Monday. In today's video, I am going to talk about my top 4 Letterboxd films. And in light of that, I'm listening to the La La Land motion picture soundtrack. For me, one of the strongest parts and so important in the movie is the soundtrack and the music and who it's done by. I think it sets the tone for the whole movie. I do believe La La Land has one of the best ones, and it's one of the most listenable ones, I think. Listen to it while I study. Funny enough, La La Land is not in my top 4. I think it's overrated, but I've also never been in a relationship before, so I don't really know fully what they're feeling, I guess. I can imagine, but I've heard that when you've been in a relationship, when you've been in love, when you've had a breakup, it hits a little harder, hits a little deeper in your heart. So maybe I'll give it another watch when I, fall in love and break up. Okay, anyway. So, first, I'll say my Letterboxd handle is all lowercase, Wes, W-E-S, 18, 1-8, and then Anderson. Because of Wes Anderson. He's probably my favorite director. Him and Sofia Coppola are my favorite. So, we're going to go my top 4 Letterboxd. These movies are the ones that I don't think are necessarily the best or the most well done, but they feel like mine. They hit me in a deep spot. I love them, if that makes sense. They're my favorite. Maybe not the best, but they're my favorite. So, number 1, I have, in no particular order, Fantastic Mr. Fox. That is my number 1 comfort film. I've watched it countless times. I think the color palette is my favorite, the oranges and the blues during the night, and it's obviously Wes Anderson. It's so good. This is one of the ones where it's stop motion, but it doesn't give me an eerie, creepy vibe at all. It's very fluid. George Clooney is so good as Mr. Fox. Meryl Streep as Mrs. Fox. So good. I'm trying to remember. Jason Schwartzman plays Ash. Great job. I love Jason Schwartzman so much. He's in a lot of Wes Anderson's things. If you're familiar with Wes Anderson, he's in Moonrise Kingdom, Rushmore, Fantastic Mr. Fox. I don't know if he's in the Grand Budapest Hotel. I haven't seen that one yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. He's a little bit of Wes Anderson's muse, I would say, similar to Kirsten Dunst with Sofia Coppola. But Fantastic Mr. Fox, I resonate with each character on a different level and different parts of them. I was gonna say Ash is Jason Schwartzman. I'm literally blanking right now on what Ash's cousin's name is. It starts with a Christopherson. That's what it is. Christopherson. I probably resonate with him the most, for sure. I am the middle child, and I get good grades. My brother has always gotten bad grades. Neither of my siblings are athletic. They don't play a sport, which is totally fun. My brother's so gifted in music. My sister's super young, so she's 7. She hasn't had a chance to really show what she's strong in, what field she's strong in. But I've always felt as though there's a higher expectation for me. It's interesting, for sure, because I'm very proud to succeed in the things that I do, but it also comes with a higher pressure, I think. So I would say I would resonate with Kristofferson in that way. Yeah, my brother and I love each other very much, but sometimes we don't get along because of our conflicting values in school and what we think is important. And then, obviously, Ash, for many reasons. I think a lot of people internally resonate with Ash because of being the underdog and feeling like the odd one out. I think everybody feels that way, I really do. I think you'll always feel like the stray in some sort of pack, whether that's in sports or in school or in conversation or in public. I think that's such a natural feeling, for sure, and I believe that's why a lot of people resonate with Ash. And then Fantastic Mr. Fox. I personally love him so much. I know a lot of people believe he's selfish. I love the line that Meryl Streep says where it's, "I love you, but I shouldn't have married you." I think it's so profound because of the fact that, first of all, you are married. I don't know if in this Fox world divorces exist or anything, but it shows such a deep level of comfortability in being able to communicate that. And for Mr. Fox to be okay with it, I can't say I fully understand that line. Because I've never been in her shoes, you know. You love somebody, you love them. I guess she thinks that he wasn't the right father for her kids, or not the provider that she expected him to be. But I mean, when you get married, it's for better, for worse, for sickness and in health, you know. So good on her for staying with him, in my opinion. I understand both sides of the coin in that situation. The absolute depth to this movie, and for it to be a children's movie as well, crazy to me. The dry dialogue and humor. I have a phobia of wolves, if you've seen it. I'm just assuming that who's ever watching this has seen the movie, but if you haven't, highly recommend. Such a good fall watch as well. That was one of the first movies I was like, wow, this is really different. This is really good. Kind of hit me a spot in my heart where I knew this was my movie, if that makes sense. Okay, next. Okay, this movie, my favorite actor of all time is Jake Gyllenhaal. For many movies, I love him in Prisoners. Love him in October Sky. He's pretty good in that. I'm trying to think of... Oh, in Zodiac, he's great. In Nightcrawler, he's great. But his best performance by far is in Brokeback Mountain. This movie, I think, genuinely changed something mentally in my head. I have a very conservative family for sure. Don't fully know where I land. Maybe a little bit more conservative, but I don't think I've lived enough, and I haven't really been out in the world. I've lived in a bubble for all of my life, honestly, so it's hard for me to say, but the vulnerability that is portrayed in this movie by both characters is so beautifully done. And I thought it was so interesting, the different types of vulnerability from Jack and Ennis. They're very different, but they're both equally yearning for each other. The possibility of someone to find this movie unsettling or even disgusting really saddens me to a different level. I think that I just think all love is so beautiful. I don't understand why anyone would not want somebody else to feel love for another person, or wouldn't want someone to love someone else or to feel loved. I think it's the strongest and most powerful feeling, just the strongest and most powerful thing that humans have, that we can show to each other. It shows compassion, it shows empathy, it shows just an unconditional love for each other that is undescribable. And for this movie to have the outcome and ending that it does is so heart-wrenching. I obviously don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it's really upsetting, I would say, because of how beautiful of a love story it is, and for it to be cut short and not reach its full potential because of the ugliness that is the human, I don't know, it's not the human mind though. I don't think it's natural for humans to judge each other the way that we do in general, and especially in this movie. But the box that we put each other and ourselves in is really saddening. I don't think I'll understand it. I really don't. I personally try and show the most compassion and respect for others, and I think part of doing that is feeling happy when others are happy. I lack the understanding of why you would want to limit someone or prevent them from feeling loved. I don't understand. So that movie opened my eyes to what some people believe, and what a beautiful love story. So beautiful. Oh my gosh, I think I could actually talk about this movie for maybe an hour straight. I would say I could talk about this movie for an hour straight, have a conversation for 10 hours straight with somebody else. I wish everyone could see this movie, and I hope that everyone walks out of it feeling regret if they have ever, felt a certain way towards felt any harsh way towards the way two people decide to love each other. I mean, that's what Heath Ledger said in an interview, and I completely agree, 100%. The acting is so well done, and Lee is the director. So great. So great. The shots are visually stunning. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I have to move on. Okay. To lighten it up a little bit, Ratatouille is the next one. Some people think that I say it weird, Ratatouille. That's how it's spelled, Ratatouille. I don't know how else to say Ratatouille. Ratatouille. Guys, this movie is so good. I obviously grew up with it in a very Disney-oriented and Pixar-oriented Disney-oriented family. Grew up. I don't know if you can hear the music. It's so good. Disney-oriented family. Lived off of Pixar for sure. Incredibles was always so good. Brave is good. Toy Story is good. All of it. I really enjoyed it. Not so much the new stuff, but Ratatouille takes the cake. by far. I barely even look at this one as a childhood classic because of how much it still holds up and how much it resonates still. As someone with a pretty unattainable dream, this movie is such a beacon of hope for anyone with a dream that they don't believe can be met, or they don't believe that they could fulfill. Anyone can cook. Anyone can cook. Anyone can fly to space. Anyone can direct a movie. Anyone can write a book. And I believe that. I don't think anyone should be limited by their abilities or by what other people say that they can or cannot do. I think this movie is the perfect example of that. In Paris, the nightlife, the cooking, that one scene where he's trying cheese and strawberries at the same time and he closes his eyes and it goes black and you can see the colors. Oh, I love that scene so much. So good. Really, I don't think there's much left to say about it. I think a lot of people have seen Ratatouille. I don't see how someone would dislike it. Actually, I do have to ignore the first part where the grandma is shooting at them. It makes me very scared and very sad. Not... I can't watch that part. But afterwards, I do love it. Now, for the top dog. My favorite movie of all time is Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko... Stop, I become speechless when I try to talk about it. It is so ahead of its time. Let's see, 2001. 2001. And it was directed by some 20-something-year-old with Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal was relatively a nobody at the time. The thought of mental illness and time traveling and what's real and what's fake, to me, it almost has a Kubrickness to it, where the audience is also confused. If you've seen American Psycho, you know how it's formatted in a way where the audience is confused along with Patrick Bateman. I think Donnie Darko does the same exact thing. You personally don't know, is he seeing Frank the Bunny? Is he not? Is it all in his mind? Who is Frank the Rabbit? Is he real? It's still so confusing, but in such a satisfying way, where I personally am a thinker. I like to think about movies. I don't like surface level movies all that much. I like them, they're fine. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox, there's not a confusing element to it, neither Ratatouille, but Donnie Darko makes me think so much about that movie. I think about that movie at least 3 times a week, for sure. I've seen the movie 3 times. Kind of twice, kind of 3 times. First time I watched it, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I knew that I wouldn't be able to appreciate it to its full potential until I watched it a second time to fully understand and grasp what was going on throughout it, because something gets revealed at the end that connects the dots throughout the beginning to the before the final scene. And in knowing what the resolution was and what everything stood for and what everything symbolized, it's easier to understand the second and third watch through, which I enjoyed watching it more the first time because of how much the gears were turning in my head. But the second and third watch, my respect and appreciation for the movie grew exponentially throughout each watch, just because the greater understanding helps to appreciate all of the smaller details and all of the things that are specifically curated in scenes to connect those dots in such a way where it's so satisfying. We're like, oh, that's why that happened. And oh my gosh, that makes sense why that happened. I would say it's a masterpiece. It's for the thinkers. If you watch movies to kind of, I guess, calm you down and, satisfy and to I don't know what I'm trying to say, but this one is definitely to get your gears turning and to have you really ravel on what's going on, which I personally like. It's almost a little stress-inducing, but it's in a good way to me. That's my favorite movie. Those are my top 4. Well, my secret top 4 is Call Me By Your Name. Oh my gosh, that movie kills me. I'm not even gonna speak on that because I think you can get an understanding of my family. So Brokeback Mountain is okay. I don't know why that's okay, and Call Me By Your Name isn't, but yeah, I can't put that on my top 4. Just in cases of them checking. I don't know why they would, but those are my top 4. That's it. Some honorable mentions are Obsession. Saw it opening day. Wow. That movie. Here's what I had to say about it. I'm just going to read my Letterboxd review of it because I've only been able to watch it once. I'd like to watch it again. I'm not a huge movie rewatcher, but this one I would watch again. I said, wow, I'm not a horror movie fanatic, but I believe that this movie was done so tastefully and having the perfect amount of gore to classify it as horror without overshadowing the genuineness of the plot. I believe that when a horror movie is done correct, the plot and depth of the characters will speak for themselves, and there's no need to use demonic or over-the-top theatrics to scare the audience. The acting was brilliant, and the eeriness of every shot was so visually satisfying. I love a movie that gains traction without big names drawing a fan base. Well-deserved praise. That's what I have to say about it. I love the indie little films. You gotta love it. That's all the Letterboxd reviews I have so far. I've seen many more movies than that, don't you worry. But that's my Letterboxd. If you want to go to it, once again, it's Wes18 Anderson. Give it a look-see. But those are my top 4 reviews and a brief description of my other reviews. Have a great day. Please watch them. If you have some time on your hands, watch a movie. You'll never regret it. All right, love you. Bye.